Hello and welcome back to the Women's War week by week. This time we're going to spend a week in Namur with nurse Florence Ford and Millicent, Duchess of Sutherland. You may remember hearing a few weeks ago about Millicent, Duchess of Sutherland, who had rushed to Belgium at the outbreak of the war, taking with her a number of trained and untrained medical personnel. Amongst them was 30-year-old nurse Florence Ford, who had trained at Guy's Hospital, one of the important London teaching hospitals. Not only was Florence an efficient nurse, she also kept a detailed diary of her time working with the Duchess of Sutherland Hospital Unit. She left England on the 16th of August 1914 and arrived 5 hours later in Ostend after a miserable journey. She was ill all the way. Seasickness figures large in many nurses' diaries as they write about their first trip overseas. By the 21st of August, the hospital unit had established a hospital in the convent of Les Sœurs de Notre Dame in Namur in Belgium. By a strange twist of fate, an earlier Mother Superior of this convent had kept a diary noting her impressions as Napoleon's soldiers rushed through Namur to meet their destiny at Waterloo. On that occasion, within days of the battle, the defeated French were pouring back into Namur and beginning to pillage the abbey. 99 years later, the convent, as well as the city of Namur, faced an identical fate, this time at the hands of the invading Germans. Millicent in her diary writes how Namur has been taken and retaken so often that her foundations have perpetually been renewed. Like Millicent, Florence in her diary also records the bombardment of the town and its subsequent fall to the Germans on the 24th of August. She and Millicent noted the dreadful shelling, wondering what the brave but totally outnumbered Belgians could do against such a force. The following day, fires were raging everywhere. Millicent recorded how the Hôtel de Ville was on fire, the marketplace was on fire, they said the arsenal was on fire. By August the 26th, Florence Ford was not sure if it was worse to face constant shell fire or know that you were hemmed in by fires. Although the hospital's predominantly Belgian patients were, in her words, very good, she did not feel the same could necessarily be said of the nuns who had remained in the convent to assist the hospital unit. She felt the nuns' religion does not give them much courage. To be fair to the nuns, they were a teaching, not a nursing order, and Millicent herself had noticed the peaceful as opposed to bellicose instincts of the Belgian people. 4 days later, the makeshift hospital was overwhelmed with patients, many of whom were half-starving and in a pitiable condition. According to Florence, their wounds have not been dressed and they are eating grass. The unit stayed in Namur until the 5th of September, when the town was firmly in the hands of the Germans, and having done all she could to lighten the lot of her wounded, Millicent decided it was time to offer her services elsewhere. With a heavy heart at having to leave the soldiers in the care of the German medical services in Namur, doctors, nurses and surgeons of the Millicent Sutherland Hospital Unit headed into the desolate countryside along the banks of the River Sambre. We will meet Florence and Millicent again on our journey through the Women's War week by week, 1914 to 1918.